like this walk is just teaching me like how to slowly get over my OCD, because I've just been smelling so many things because the snow is melting, and like my OCD's kind of convinced me that like smelling anything slightly burning is like associated with having a heart attack, which is like my biggest fear basically, even though I'm 23 and healthy. And it stopped me from exercising for a long time, which is why these walks have been like even hard to get me to go on a walk when I used to run 13 miles, you know? So, I don't know, I just feel like it's so weird because the scent is just like such a valuable sense, and that's how I'm feeling right now. Like scent just means so much, like how, like I smelled a bonfire. It reminded me of walking around. I didn't live in this city when I was a kid, but I lived in the city next to it with my dad. How we would go on walks in the winter with him and like play outside, and just smelling a bonfire in like the transition from snow to spring. It just really reminds me of that. And I was like, you can't be scared of a burning smell because you're not having a heart attack, you're having a fucking memory. So okay, so I just showered and I'm at my boyfriend's house, but I have decided for my acne to use different stuff than I normally would. So this is normally the one I'd use for the morning and I never use it, but my acne is just so used to the products that I've been putting on it and it's not getting better. So I just feel like maybe changing it up is the best move. Like I went to Ulta today, you guys didn't see that, but I was looking at the Ordinary products and I didn't really like the selection they had. It was the same stuff that I use and it's just not really doing anything to cure me. So I'm just gonna see if the morning one works because I don't use it enough, and so I'm thinking maybe it will help a little bit more than like the night one I use or the Ordinary serum that I use. So tonight I'm just doing this and some CeraVe lotion because I don't know how to fix this. Like, it's super frustrating because I've struggled with acne only in this region my entire life. And for a while, the dermatologist recommended stuff, which is this, like the dermatologist prescribed Axone and Plexion, were working with the Ordinary stuff, but I don't know enough now. And I guess that's on me to do the research, but I don't know enough about how to kind of cultivate that skincare routine. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm 23. I'm sick of having hormonal chin acne that I can't control and like doesn't go away. And it's not like it really hurts, but there's like, if I get a bigger one, it'll kind of hurt when it's growing in. Like one of these right now, I did that face mask last night and it kind of hurts and it's just not fucking fun. So anyway, but yeah, the change of scenery is because it's my boyfriend's bathroom. I'm gonna take my contacts out and just get on with the night. I am so blind that I have to hold it this close to make sure that the contact is in because I can't see it anywhere else. Just can't see far enough. Then we'll put my lotion on and be done. I guess I've just found so much value in these slow weekends and these slow nights that I've been taking for myself, because if you're new to the channel, I started this when I was living in London. I moved to London when I was 21 years old. I'm 23 now. And before I lived in London, it was like the biggest city I had lived in was Ann Arbor, Michigan, which was 150,000 people. So I didn't know what I was getting into when I moved to a city of 8.5 million people. which I think is common. Like, people move from rural Montana, Michelle and Aline, they moved from rural Montana to New York City, and I think it was a really big adjustment for them, but I just don't think you're prepared for how big that adjustment is. And then you get to the city and it's go, go, go constantly. It's, you wake up and you have something to do, and then you have something to do after that, and you have somewhere to go after that, and then you get home for maybe 5 minutes and someone's like, okay, come meet me here. And as much as I valued my lifestyle when I was living in London, it's so different from now moving back home to Michigan. And I'm 40 minutes from where I grew up right now, living in a city 40 minutes from where I grew up, still in Metro Detroit, which is where I'm from. And I've had to really come to terms with the fact that there's not as much to do here, and it's okay to kind of revert back into yourself and figure out what you need for yourself. So these slow nights have just been the best contrast to my life in London. Like I said, as much as I loved it, it was amazing, I just knew I had gotten to a point where I couldn't live that life anymore because it didn't feel authentic to me, and like I really couldn't take the time to myself and figure out who I was while I was living there because I was just sad for so long. and I'm living here, don't get me wrong, it's great. It's great being around family, and I love Michigan, and I will love Michigan until the day I die. I am so proud to be from here, but it's just it's hard to come home, especially this young, and I didn't do it intentionally. It was all happenstance how I ended up back here. And like I said, I don't regret it, but it's taught me a lot about kind of being with myself, because I can't just distract myself with like parties or going out to like really cool restaurants or just like walking around a ton of places and seeing beautiful architecture. Like, it's Michigan, you know, it's not old, it's not historic, it's modern, it's newly built, but it's not like high rises, you know, it's just like straight up suburbia. So I don't know, it's just, I've found a lot of value when I can just come back into myself and figure out who I am as a person, because I'm so isolated in this place. And it's a different way that I was isolated in London. Like, I was isolated in London and I was like, I don't know if I want to be here anymore, you know, like, but Michigan, I have this foundation that I can work from. But also, people have left, you know, like my friends aren't here anymore. All of my friends have moved away, or we lost touch, the ones that do live here, and it's hard to kind of rekindle that. And I've tried, but it's not, people have their own lives now. And so I really am valuing these nights that I can crochet or watch movies on my own, which is something that I've loved my entire life and wanted to do as a career, and have strayed so far from in the hustle and bustle that is like everyday living. So I'm just really grateful. And I think it's just teaching me a lot mentally, you know. I'm on this island, I'm on this OCD island, and I know I mentioned it earlier, so I should probably give some context, but my OCD has been something that I've been struggling with, God, my entire life. Like, if I look back, I'm like, oh, I was a really anxious kid. And then I'm like, oh, I also had really bad OCD when I was a kid. It was something that I was diagnosed with at 21. So it's new. It's the past 2 years I've been diagnosed with this. And it's kind of coming to terms with those thought patterns and behaviors and compulsions. But my OCD recently has flared up pretty bad again, and since October I haven't been able to exercise because I'm laughing because this is fucking funny, but like, I have somehow convinced myself, or my OCD has, that if I exercise and raise my heart rate, I will have a heart attack and die, which, like I said, that's fucking funny. Like it sucks that that's my thought pattern, but I'm sitting here as like a rational human being like, that's not that's not a real thing, you know? And so I do have really bad health anxiety, which is something that I've struggled with at least since I was 7 years old. And just this fear of death and dying has really inhibited the last couple months of my life, to the point where I was a long distance runner for 5 years and I can't go on runs anymore, and it's a chore to get myself to go on a walk. And that walk today, I was just realizing so much about my life. Like, I'm sitting there like, and once every 3 minutes I'd be paralyzed by this anxious voice in my head that's like, nope, you're gonna die. But it's like, okay, so is everyone, you know? I have no control over that. And I don't know, it kind of helped me in those 45 minutes that I was walking get to a place where like that fear is always going to be there, and I know that, but it's like you have to just power through. And I think in a city so big as London, I could never have confronted that fear, you know? I was anxious about so many other things that if this had come up, I would be really struggling. And I am really struggling right now, but I have this foundation, this home to kind of help me navigate that. I have people around me. I have familiarity, you know, nothing's shocking about living here because I grew up around this entire area, you know? But it's been pretty valuable, and it's forced me to kind of come into myself. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for slow days. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you stuck around to this point, thank you. I love you so much. If you are new, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that. And then just let me know what you guys want to see, because this is a newer channel. I've had it for a year and a couple months, but I haven't posted a lot, and I am posting twice a week now. So let me know what you guys want to see. Thank you guys. I love you so much. Goodbye.